Dreamers Welcome Podcast.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast. We back in the building, ladies and gentlemen. I go by CEO PESO, blessed and highly favored. Back with another one, man. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll be late at Thanksgiving. Everybody who had it, man. Hope y'all enjoyed yourself. Holidays are still holidaying, but we got to keep working. I got my guy in here. Longtime associate, good friend, somebody that I respect on the music level, man. He definitely is a plethora of characteristics and hats that he wear when he comes to this music situation. So we're going to do a deep dive. Dayton native, please introduce yourself for the people.
Yo, it's David Winter in the building. You already know what it is. Winning.
There we go. My dog, it's time. We've been trying to set this up. It's been on my behalf, too, with the scheduling.
It's all good.
But I always look at certain lateness happening for a reason because we got a lot more to talk about now.
Yeah, I know, right?
You got some new workout, learned some new things about you. We was just talking before the camera cut on. But first and foremost, man, I appreciate you coming through to the platform.
Of course, man.
How are you feeling, man?
Feeling great, man. You know what I'm saying? Blessed. You know what I'm saying? Financially good. You know what I'm saying? You know, getting back
Financially
in shape.
good. That's a great one.
That's a milestone. For
Yeah,
me,
for
bro.
sure,
You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
They late 30s and they ain't got it together, bro. That can't be me.
Nah, man.
You know what I'm
we
saying?
got
So,
kids to take care of and a life to live, man.
Yeah, man. So I'm on that. You know what I'm saying? Working out, trying to stay healthy and shit.
Yeah, man. The health is wealth, man. I can honestly say this year I went crazy on the health. You know, just trying to get everything situated. Lost some pounds. Gotta look good on camera and just feel good for life, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's sometimes
how you supposed to take care of shit when
absolutely
we ain't together. You know what I mean,
man. So let's just go back real quick. I like doing this, man. For the people who don't know who you are, man, your upbringing, where you from, how was it coming up as a youngin'? What was going on back then? Talk to about your past a little bit.
So I wasn't even born in Ohio. Actually, a lot of people don't know that. I was actually born in Omaha, Nebraska.
Word.
That was late 80s. So I lived in Omaha for probably like 6 years with my mom. My mom and dad didn't really work out. Wasn't nothing weird or nothing like that. It just didn't work. And then my mom had a little situation she had going on with somebody else. Shit went wild. It wasn't my dad. And my mom's side was still in Ohio. So my mom's side of the family is actually military. Her father was in the Air Force. Mm. So they traveled like all the time when they was young. So they stationed in Fairborn, Ohio. Some shit went at the base. Some shit went down in Nebraska. And we ain't gonna get into all that because I ain't gonna put her shit out like that. But basically, we had to end up just up and moving out and move straight to Ohio from there. And so it was like a transition from living in Nebraska to just switching it up and moving to Ohio. So I moved to Ohio like 94, 95 probably, 93 maybe. And I ain't gonna lie, at first it was a culture shock because it was a lot more diverse. It's a lot of people be surprised to hear me say that it's actually more diverse out there than it was down here. Like when I first moved to Fairborn, I was like the only black kid that went to 5 Points in the 90s.
I mean,
like
yeah,
that shit was kind of weird at first. But
Fairborn back then, like when I was young, it just seemed so far away.
It was.
It's its own area. Like I'm
gonna tell you something though. When I first went there, right, I felt really weird. Like I was like, yo, this is weird. You know what I'm saying? But listen, the people there treated me with so much respect, bro. It made me feel like I was at home. Like nobody treated me different. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what, 4th, 5th grade type shit. And I'm feeling weird because it's like, all right, it's nothing but. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you kind of used to that.
Nothing but the others out there.
Yeah, but everybody treated me the same, bro. Nobody treated me no different. Everybody was like, oh, you know. And to me, I think that's why I am the way I am today, why I hang out with so many different, you know what I'm saying, ethnicities. Nationalities. Because shout out to Stivers as well. And
melting pot.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
as time went on, my mom moved to Riverside, which is the east side. And I lived there for pretty much the majority of my life. And I was actually supposed to go to Colonel White. But my mom didn't want me to go there because the bus said I would have to go so far. And she was like, we ain't doing all that. So we went to Stivers. And from there, it was like even a bigger, like you said, melting pot. and just getting to know everybody. Shout out Molly, Molly B.
Molly Vegan?
Yeah,
oh, my dog.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Molly.
And so that was just like the culmination of like how I really got into like music and I was in theater and all kind of shit, man.
I'm about to say because Stivers is I had somebody on here like it's like performing arts in a sense. Like you get in there, not audition, but you got to go there like really. It's down there like a college,
like an
in high school.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like an agency in a way before you get to the agency.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? It's
they
building
they
your blocks
you.
it's building your blocks to get to where you want to be. But the melting pot there was crazy. Like it's so funny because my son asked me all the time because he got a friend that go there now. He's like, what's it like there? I'm like, it ain't no different than any others. It's still dating public. Man, a lot of people think that shit is like some like private.
That's what it seemed like. Though.
No, it's not. Like, it's no different.
It's like
it has this all. Don't get me wrong. It has this. It's emos, it's goths, it's what I'm saying. But at the same time, you got your niggas. It's ghetto too. Like it's got everything. You know. What I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie. I used to. This is way back in the G, but I'll be like, "Oh, you want the Stivers?"
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, niggas will play.
Who you think you is?
Yeah,
that was like
that
was like a young mentality because I just like it just seems such a prestige place.
Yeah, I know, but don't get me wrong. It has its, it has it. But understand this: it's a lot of niggas that I knew that was talented in the arts back then too. That was like still doing shit now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like
I know a few
you just
hood
gotta
niggas.
Find your niche.
I know a few hood niggas that went to Stivers.
Yeah, so it's not like nigga, nah, bro. It really be. It's not. I'll be trying to.
It's well rounded.
It is.
You got the regular high school shit. Then you got the why you there.
Yep.
Agency type shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nah, that's dope, man. So, far as like coming up, bro, before music hit, what was some of the dreams and aspirations, man? Was it sports? Was it drawings? Or like what was it?
So I wasn't really that great at sports, man, which is so funny because my son is amazing at sports. So it's so crazy to see him do well at that and me not be so good at it.
The generational genes skipped over a little bit.
But I had asthma growing up, so
okay.
There was a lot of shit I couldn't do. But honestly, I wanted to be a writer, bro. When I was a kid, bro, I'd just be
writer. As far as what, to music?
No, well, at first it just started out just writing in general. Like,
okay.
Just making up this little story, this little dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm young, you know what I'm saying? Because also taking it back to when I moved to Ohio, when we lived in Nebraska, we didn't have like no money like that. It was just me and my mom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we didn't have no cable. So when we came to Fairborn, bro, when you go to grandma, bro, she got the cable. She got the Nickelodeon, the
Big
HBO,
comfort,
the Cartoon Network.
Yep.
Bro, I didn't know what none of that shit was. So I came into that shit like, oh, wow. So at first it was like, yo, I think I want to draw. And I think I want to, like you said. And that's kind of how it started. And then it went to writing. And I was like, yo, this is kind of cool. And then as I got older, my uncle used to work for a record label back in the day, right? And so he started to introduce me to some of the stuff that he had going on because I was a little older at that point. But at that point, I was already heavy into like BET. I was watching Rap City. I'm 11 years old. Like,
tapping in. Yeah,
I'm like,
hits from the street.
I'm like,
106 in Park.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, yo, this is kind of tight. So then my uncle was like, yo, I see you be like writing in a little notebook. And I showed him. He's like, okay. So he's like, man, are you serious about this? And I'm like, just fucking around, you know what I'm saying? But he was like, man, he's like, I'm gonna bring you down to at the time I think he was interning in DC. So he took me to DC to intern with him. Went down there, met a lot of celebrities, man. Met like A. Marie, Mario, who else was there? Ashanti.
And that was at their prime too.
Exactly. This was like 2000, probably like 2002.
Oh
yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
They dinner wasn't even popping. Like they
bro,
was
me
on their way
Mario
up.
Was the same age.
Oh, that's deep.
I was 15. Mario was like 16.
Braid my hair ass.
Yeah, bro. And that nigga tall as fuck.
Yeah. Damn.
But and so from that, it was like it grew into this. Yo, maybe I really can do this. And so it transitioned from me writing like stories and books to writing like lyrics and slam poetry. I remember Def Jam. The slam poetry was huge back then. So that was like that's really what I was getting into, and it just transgressed into just making music.
The slam poetry, I think that's when for real, I think that's when Kanye did his All Falls Down. Like, was it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Was that the slam poetry thing?
I don't really know.
I just remember he was on there.
I remember he was on there one time, but I think that was Russell Simmons' shit. I think that who originally started that, and then he just came on there and just did his thing. But that's originally where it all started, and then from there, I didn't know how to do any of that shit. Like, I didn't know how to engineer or nothing like that, so I took it upon myself to learn. Because back then we had Google and shit. So I did the homework, you know what I'm saying? I got on, I went to the library, you know what I'm saying, the dog pile, whatever we had back then. It figured out how to do it. And so from high school, like 2002 up until like 2007, I was engineering on my own shit. You know what I'm saying? I remember before Quentin Stone had passed, shout out Q Stone.
Yeah.
He was actually one of the first people that we was rocking with in Stivers together, and we was in the studio together. He's like, man, you know how to. I was like, let me mess around for you. We made this song, right? I'll never forget it. It was me, him, and Lamar Washington, and we made this little song, and it really was shit. But that was like the culmination of me going, oh, yo, I can really do this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it was definitely man, that's like an era I really love and enjoy of like. Because I used to engineer like all my artists and everything.
Oh, okay.
And just learning that shit, but not knowing what you doing. You just learning
just
your own
it.
shit. Like,
no different than the
yeah. So it just was like, damn, like, man, that really, I feel like that really molds people into like who they are. Like, damn, like, you sit there, you have nothing to do but figure it out.
Yeah.
Click some shit. What does this do? Whatever. Yeah. And like you say, y'all just created like. At the time it probably was a banger, but right. But it just was like
when you look at it in hindsight, it's like, ooh, that was ass.
But, but
you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, it was all about we was all just figuring it out.
Yeah, and it transcended into because Q Stone was staple.
He really was
staple,
like
bro.
Was really ahead of his time.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, time passed. 2009 roll around. I have a kid. I don't have a college degree. I was actually supposed to go to Ohio State. I had a full ride. Didn't go. My grandma was pissed about that. Shout out Flam. Me and Flam was part of the same program, so we used to go to Ohio State like every summer, do them little mock classes and shit. There wasn't nobody doing them classes. We was fucking around, running around, being silly, trying to pick up the, you know what I'm saying? Bobby No Legs, he was there.
Bobby, RP Bobby, man. That boy,
that nigga,
that
legend,
skateboard been across America,
bro. That nigga, a legend, bro. And it was just such a good time, man. But I never went, so I decided to go to ICB. Oh, my bad.
Hold on, I want to double back. The full ride. What was it for, and why didn't you go?
It was an academic scholarship. It wasn't sports, but you had to keep your shit above a certain GPA or whatever. And, I managed to keep it up to that. But at the time, right, I was so focused on I was thinking so far ahead. Like, at the time, remember, double XL and all that shit was huge. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to be a journalist at that time.
Yeah.
It's funny because journalism is now, revolutionized into, like, podcasting now. But back then, I'm like, yo, I want to be a journalist. So when we was doing the mock classes and shit, I should have went for music. So when we started doing the mock classes, all my, when you go to Sinclair and they give you all the little bullshit classes you got to take.
Start it off, get that shit out the way.
That's basically they do the same shit. And every class, bro, was this like social economics, communications, and bro, I'm telling you, bro, that shit was not for me, bro. Like I was like, yo, this is garbage. I don't want none of this. So eventually I got frustrated and I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore, and I just dropped out. You know what I'm saying? I should have really in hindsight, I really should have been like, yo, let me pivot and pick another major or something. But you know what I'm saying? Who knows? I might not even be sitting here today had I went there. I might have stayed out there in Columbus and got to construction. You never fucking know.
I bet you don't. Like I remember, just quick story. I remember I had a 2-year scholarship to St. Clair right after I had graduated high school, and it was the same shit. I was in there. I think I was there for like 2 weeks, and with the classes we was doing, I was like, yo, I could be at home doing music, mixing, whatever. You feel
Yeah,
me?
that's kind of was mine.
And
Yep.
I remember just stopped going, and my grandma, she wasn't pissed, but she was like, "You sure?" And I'm like, "Man, that shit ain't it." Fast forward, I ended up getting the blessing 4 years later to go to Full Sail University, but but it just was like, man, my gut feeling was like, bro, I'm literally wasting my time when I could be focusing on my craft, like. This shit, and back then, like the whole regular thing was like, oh, I'm going for communications. Like it was like
that everybody was.
Yeah, like
everybody was doing that.
Fuck this shit, man.
Yeah, it just wasn't the move. You know what I'm saying?
So, but no, I mean, it's no telling. But I mean, I feel like you still kept the feet on the pavement, kept going with everything.
You know what I'm saying? Like I ended up going to ICB.
Yeah.
A little while later, I had a kid, went to ICB, got my associates in that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that shit I already knew by that point.
But you got the paperwork.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also understanding the business of it.
Mm-hmm.
I notice a lot of artists be out here, not even local, just artists in general, want to have the look, want to have the image, want to do this, want to do that, and know absolutely nothing about the business. And it's like, that shit is so backwards, because if you don't know shit about the business, how do you expect to maneuver if you want to call yourself successful anyway? You know what I'm saying? So learning the business of it, that's when the other things started to come into play with the Rick Ross later down the line. You know what I'm saying? And so I was able to kind of come at it in a way where, had I not known that before, I might have fucked up and did some shit.
Yeah.
That probably wasn't in my best favor, because, you know what I'm saying? But again, I had my uncle who worked for the record label. So he was, you know what I'm saying, he was like, yo,
kicking off game.
Yeah, he was like, listen, you've been going to college, right? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, so you know the business, you know about payola, you know about the advances. I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, well, you gonna hire an attorney, right? And I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like our uncle's asking you but telling you at the same time.
Well, because it all popped off so fast, bro. Like I graduated from ICB, right? This was like probably 2010, 2011. And at the time, I wasn't on social media like that. Like I wasn't even like on Facebook or nothing like that. And so I was on Twitter heavy, right? Because that was like where all the celebrities was at that time.
I'm about to say Twitter back in like 2009 and 10 was
that
like
was gold,
heavy.
Yeah, gold. So I got on there to start following people. Wiz Khalifa, Drake, Ross, whoever. You know what I'm saying? And I remember Ross's A&R posted something on Twitter like Ross looking for beats. So I'm like, damn. So at that time, my mentality was, if I don't do this right now, then, you know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't gonna happen. So I just sent him whatever I had. Like, I don't even remember what I sent him. I just sent him some beats. About a couple months go by, I get an email. He's like, yo, Ross feeling these. And I'm like, wait, hold on. He actually listened to that shit? Like,
who got back in contact with you?
DJ Sam Sneak. Shout out DJ Sam Sneak.
Yeah, Sam Sneak, yeah.
Shoneville, down in Florida. That's the area. But anyway, he's Ross's DJ
slash
A&R. He be going live on IG all the time.
Yeah.
The big hair, the Shabuzi hair.
Yeah. He still got that?
Yep.
Yeah, Sam Sneak a real one.
Yeah. I'll be getting on this live and just comment like Academy Productions. Yeah. He like, damn, where y'all been at?
Okay, wait. So Rick Ross featuring 2 Chainz, Wale, Fuck 'Em. That was on the Rich Forever mixtape.
Correct.
Produced by Academy Productions.
Correct. That was me.
Okay.
A lot of people didn't know that, but that was actually me.
So you said Sam Sneak said he was feeling them.
Yep.
When did you get word or hear the song that he actually did that?
So it didn't happen right away. Another like 6 months went by, and then he hit me and said, I need your production credits. I said, all right, bet. At the time, I had just graduated from ICB. I said it was Academy Productions with a Z. I ended up changing it later, but that's what it was at the time. He said, all right, cool. So after that, it was dead silent. So I'm hitting him up like, yo, what's going on, right?
Learn how the business work. You got to be patient.
Yeah, just, you know, I'm giddy. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, right? Next thing you know, bro, the whole summer go by, almost the whole winter go by, New Year's come around, right? Next thing you know, and I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't in a great place in my life either. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to put that out there. But this is how like blessing and curses work, bro. I'm literally on a bus. I'm on a bus. I'm riding RTA in the middle of the winter. My phone start blowing up. Hey man, you ain't tell me you was popping like this. Hey man, I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Ross just dropped the shit.
Usually do that.
He ain't say nothing. Nobody contacted me and said, "Hey, we about to drop." Nothing. It was just bam, it's out there. And so I found out like everybody else did. I'm like, oh shit, like. Yes, I had something going on, but I didn't really, because you know how it is. You don't want to say nothing too early, and then either it don't happen,
bro. This nigga bullshit.
Yeah, like exactly. So it's like it looked bad. So it's like I ain't gonna say shit, and then it just dropped. So after that, everybody like, yo, what the fuck? And I'm like, all right, like, and so from that point
hype as fuck on that bus,
bro. From that point on, bro, my life fucking went to 0 to 100, bro. I'm talking like, nigga, within a few weeks, bro. I had entertainment attorneys emailing me. You know what I'm saying? I had, you know what I'm saying? Like Ross was calling me on the phone. I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy right
That's
now.
Dope.
And so anyway, what ended up happening was my status from just being, you know, a regular nigga from the east side went from this nigga really doing it now. Mm-hmm. So from that point on, I just kind of took advantage of it. Like, it, you know, at that time, all the, you know, Blind Bobs, Coyotes, what was the one place called? Bojack? What was it?
Bojack's?
Bojack, yeah. The play, what was the other? Wallabies. Bro, I was performing everywhere in 2012, getting paid. You know what I'm saying? So like paid performances. And
so you took when the production credits came out, you took that and then you amplified like your artistry as well and just started using that to be like, well, shit, like on some Kanye shit, like I rap too.
Yeah, exactly.
And started just doing hella shows and putting yourself out there.
Yep. And looking back, I really wished I would have just kept my head down and just kept producing and just bugged the shit out of Ross and them. Like, what do I
probably could have got
signed?
That's
what do I need to do next? What do I need to do next? But instead, I let that shit get to my head. And after I let it get to my head, that's when the local shit started happening. Like, I was like, oh man, I can do that. And it all that other shit fell by the wayside so quick.
Faded out.
And understand, I'm young. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This was 2012. I'm like 20, you know what I'm saying? And I got a kid. So things started happening for me real quick, right? Next thing you know, bam, I get this contract, this deal from Big Gates. Big Gates is pretty much Plaza's
brother. I met Big Gates a few times.
Yeah, so that was where the actual deal came from, was from Big Gates.
Okay, wait.
This was after.
So
same year, but right after the Raw shit.
Okay, so then how did Big Gates and them get in contact with you?
They hit me on Twitter, the same thing.
Okay,
because my Twitter was blowing up. So they hit me up, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So they was like, "Well, are you currently being represented by anybody?" Da 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 da. And I was like, "No," but I'm assuming they knew me from the Raw shit. I never really asked, so we dived into that. That's when my uncle came into play. He said, if they about to send you a contract for anything, I'm about to get you a referral for an attorney. I'm like, all right, cool. Hired an attorney. Had that on the. I also had a couple of entertainment attorneys that was emailing me back from the Raw shit, like Paul Rosenberg on the
Rosenberg.
His brother was the one that emailed me. Nick Rosenberg.
You was talking to some heavy hitters.
Yeah, it was.
Was talking to some heavy hitters for sure.
I really had contacts. So at that time, they sent me this contract, and I hired a lawyer. Shit, we was looking it over, and then it was like, after we really sat down and talked about it, I was super geek. When it really came down to it, the lawyer was like, you really need to think about what you want. That's how crazy it got. Like, because, again, I'm working a 9 to 5. I'm making, 45, 50,000 a year just working at a factory. Like, is it really worth me quitting my job to turn around and just sign this and maybe not even really, and again, I'm not trying to slander nobody's name or nothing like this. I'm just speaking facts. But I'm never going to sign something that isn't going to align with my best interests. That's the best way that I can put it.
Absolutely. And you were smart enough to know that at that age.
Exactly. Yeah. And so having a kid,
Shouts out to Unc too, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the whole situation was just like, I felt like this was my shot. Like, okay, I didn't go here. I didn't go to Ohio State, but I've made it happen in other areas in my life where I didn't have no assistant. I had no manager through all this. It was just all me.
All grind, yeah.
Yeah. So that didn't really work out, and I got really, really depressed. And then that's when I kind of went through like this life change, and that's when I molded into as everybody know now, David Winter. And from that, I just went on my own and did my own thing. I wish I would have kept more in contact with Ross and them. You know what I'm saying? And I think I probably could have been able to wiggle something if I just like, you know what I'm saying, just pounded and just really, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I was looking at the wrong things back then. You get your head bigged up and ego inflated and you think, but he was the one who gave me the opportunity to be where I'm at. So I'm like, oh, I'm doing this now, but really I could have been really like my head was in a whole different weird space. And looking back, I'm like, I was just probably being on some young shit.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's what it really is. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's like when you get a taste of like dreams coming to reality at that type of age, it probably like we still maturing. Like, and you say you was doing everything on your own, so I don't think you had that much overhead. That was kind of like, I mean, with Unc, obviously, I don't know if y'all was talking every day, but just to keep you kind of level headed, like you was making your own decision. You was your own manager.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, I had, like you said, I had Unc on the back end, and he knew his shit. So I'm like, whatever he say, and I got the lawyer, and I'm trusting my own gut because I went to college and I know the business now. Right. So I know what I'm getting.
So yeah, you wasn't so dumbfounded to like what was happening.
Exactly. It's not like I was reading the contract and I was just like, I don't know what
oblivious.
The fuck this says. No, I know what the advances are. I know what mechanical royalties are. I know what 360 deals are. And the thing is, every contract looks different. My contract was actually a co-publishing contract. Not everybody's contracts are the same. Like some people's just straight 360 deals. Like they get money on the back end. Like to be honest, bro, and I'm just gonna say this, bro. It really ain't that much money in the way the music works now because streaming has minimized. You know, back in the day, you could buy an album for $11, and the shit you buy 30,000 albums for $11. That's money. Yeah. Now you paying Apple Music $10 a month to stream all the albums in the world. That's why we don't make no money off streaming. So the real money comes from touring and endorsements and shit like that. Merch. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And to be able to ride the wave and understand how things change and be able to pivot the same way Joe Budden did when, you know what I'm saying, when shit started, you know, happening. And now he's one of the biggest podcasters out there. Next to Joe Rogan, bro.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And we all know Joe didn't have the he had his little waves,
eight-figure contracts. Joe Rogan, 100 million up with Spotify.
Exactly. So it's all about the way you pivot in life. So to me, all those little things that was happening to me, bro, I was like, okay, this didn't work out. I kind of got sad, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, on to the next thing. And then I pivoted. Then I went to this, and then it was like, damn, that didn't work out. And then I pivoted, and I said, all right, I'm gonna do this, and then I pivoted. You know what I'm saying? And then,
I be telling people that too, man. Like. You know, sometimes you gotta come to realize like if one thing didn't work, instead of just getting so depressed and down in that situation of that not working for you, you might have just built up some new new abilities to your career to where it's like you can just switch to something else because you gotta learn from that shit. Like with me, like I wanted to be the biggest music director ever, just straight music videos.
Oh, like you talking like Director X?
Yeah, Benny Boom. Like I come from that era. Chris Robertson.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Now you know you got AM Visuals, you got Cole Bennett, but then I made my name. Shit, Rex Arrow, like all them niggas. But now I realize like everything I've been learning and being around put me around like film. In production, so I was like, well, shit, I can still kill music videos.
You pivoted,
but I'm gonna pivot over here to this film shit, and then that opened a whole new door for me of like, oh yeah, like this
is what I never would have thought.
Yeah, so but I didn't choose to let the aspect of like, damn, I wanted to be this music video director. Like, oh nah, I could do that shit in my sleep and kill that shit. But let me do this 90-minute feature film. Shouts out to Fitnall, got my hustle up, fantasy football, little. Everything. But yeah, you know, Marseille Martin, shouts out to the homie. So that's where I learned that from. Who are some of the influences that you look up to as far as on a not production but just artists?
Personal level? Yeah. On a personal level. Growing up, man, I used to love fucking Nas, Jay-Z. I mean, man, there was so many great artists back then. Eminem, Cassidy. Dipset. I mean, all
Diplomats,
so
baby.
Much,
Dipset,
so much
bitch.
great music out back then. As far as production, I would say Timberland, Pharrell, and I'm trying to think back to where I really was falling in love with.
Gotta
music,
say
you know
the
what I'm
Runners.
saying? Yeah, the Runners. Scott Storch,
Cool and Dre.
Cool and Dre. Yeah,
I used to fuck with production. Yeah.
Who else, man? There's so many cats out. Like I'm thinking like early 2000, like around the time I really fall in love with music.
Kanye,
Just Blaze, Missy Elliott, Ludacris. I fell in love with all that shit, man, and that was really why I wanted to pursue it. So, you know, influence wise, it was just I was a melting pot of shit, and I think again that goes back to why my music is so versatile, and I have so many different hats I pulled from because I used to listen to all that, and that's the beauty of it, right? Like you can do whatever you want. I think Tyler the Creator said back then Dre didn't sound like Eminem or
it was a whole difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So now it's like we have certain subgenres, but again, Drake don't sound like Kid Cudi, and you know what I'm saying. It's the exact same thing. So I feel like you can exist in whatever it is you want to do. I don't really feel like you have to be. Some niggas will always be the same, no matter what, and stay in that lane and ride that lane to the end, and that's fine if that's what works for you. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this: as far as like, okay, we started in the era of music where it was different, and then we lived in it to where it changed.
Yeah.
So was it difficult to not adjust to what the sound is now and to keep it you? Like what, like, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people started, for instance, like I got a few homies that fire back in the G. Now they mimicking Detroit style. They riding the wave of like, I'm like, man, you sound better like that. So was it difficult to like stay in your lane of like, man, I'm not about to convert to none of this other new shit?
So that taps back into what I was talking about the after the Plies thing, right? After that happened, I felt like, damn, I got to pivot again. I was wrong. I didn't have to pivot at all. All I had to do was just do what was best for me without sacrificing anything.
Right.
So for me, it was like, yo, just because this ain't work out don't mean you ain't got it.
Exactly.
It really took me a minute to figure that out though. Like I was really like living on my own. Like I really like I was in a space where I was like, yo, I just need to be able to figure shit out. And once I got into that space, bro, it all started to click, bro. And I'm like, I've been chasing the wrong shit. I'm chasing validation when at the same time, I don't even really think I would have been ready for anything like that at that time. Had I did that, I don't really think I would have been able to maneuver the way that I can now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying I couldn't have did it, but I'm saying looking back, I'm glad that I didn't because all I had to do was be myself.
Definitely.
So what I did was I kept the same style. All I did was I just toned certain things back. Like before I was on some rah-rah shit. You know what I'm saying? Once I had my kid, bro, I'm like, I can't be on no rah-rah shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
you gotta switch it up a
little
bit.
I'm suburban
a little maturity.
Dad, you know what I'm saying? So at that point, that's where that came in, where it was like, I don't have to really change anything. All I have to do is just switch my content up. I can still come in and ride, you know what I'm saying, and still do my thing and still be nice with it and still be a family man. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I think the balance comes in, right?
Right.
Because it's a lot of niggas who, that's why I love T Grizzly right now, because I feel like he's at a point where he's starting to kind of understand, like on some, I'm still on that drill shit, but I'm starting to get to a point where I'm like, I'm on some grown man shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now I gotta balance this shit out somehow. I feel like he's figured that out.
And that's a good point because he doing it. He's switching it over. Like I pay attention to a lot of that shit too.
I do.
He's switching it over to where it's like still.
That, like, I see what you're doing,
but it's not a corny switch over.
No, it's
still dope shit he making.
Yeah.
Like I think I seen the joint he had with J. Cole, and it was
blow something.
Yeah, and it was like okay, it's different. But I like it though.
It worked.
Cause I'm like, I like some drill shit. I fuck with T Grizzly. Like, sometimes I might just want to pull the blicky out, whatever. If I get that motivated. But then I'm listening to his shit and I'm like, all right, I can fuck with this shit.
Yeah.
Cause now you like, at a, you know, not to put my age out there, but you know, at a mature level, then shit still bang.
Right.
You know, it ain't like I'm not robbing niggas every day, so some shit I can't associate myself with. You feel me?
That's what I'm saying. You have to find that balance. You have to find that niche, right?
Yeah.
It's so hard now because of Gen Z and, you know, all these different eras coming up, bro. Not everybody can relate to what millennials be talking about.
I can't,
you know
bro.
what
Like,
I'm saying? That's why we have a specific demographic now. You know what I'm saying? Because not everybody's lit. It's not okay. Take Benny the Butcher and Griselda, for them niggas, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Them niggas is perfect for niggas like us because we understand what they talking about.
Yeah.
But to people that don't really listen to that kind of
shit sound foreign.
Yeah, they gonna be like, huh? Like, what is that? And we gonna be like, y'all missing out.
Yeah, Griselda and them,
Y'all
they
missing out.
definitely brought back like a early 2000s vibe. Like it's definitely like.
I know Nas
Like
proud.
where this shit been at?
Yeah,
cause you know, like, and they New York niggas, but I'm like, yo, New York was definitely an influence on me as well, as far as how that time frame of music was. So yeah,
but that's what I mean by that, by like finding a balance, right?
Yeah.
Like them niggas be on, you know, be on their shit, but they very intelligent. Them niggas smart, bro.
I about to say
so
that
they do it in a way that it makes sense for them. You know what I'm saying? And I think Benny ended up signing like recently, but you know, for a while they was independent.
I know, and they was rolling. I mean,
that's
but
what I'm saying.
they came out authentically them, and then I think too, just on the business side, that's why you got to know your target audience. Like they know who they catering to,
and that's what I'm saying. They gotta know their demographic. They know their demographic is millennials, niggas that hustle.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, niggas that really get it out the mud.
I can relate to some hustling music.
Yeah, exactly.
So
real will recognize real, and they didn't have to change a sound to you know what I'm saying? Because my thing was they was with M, right? But they didn't sound like M. They had that cadence, those that
gritty, grimy
lyrics. Yeah, you had that, right? But it didn't sound like M at all. So it was like, damn. You can still exist in somebody else's world and still do your own thing. And that's what David Winter was about, was I don't really have to change shit. All I have to do is just be me. All I have to do is just be authentic to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to go to prison for robbing a bank. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm over here trying to get to the bag in a legal way. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, so, you know, and again, no shade. You know what I'm saying? I know niggas that really get it out. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta know, you gotta be able to pivot.
You trust yourself.
What you're trying to,
trust your music, trust your instincts.
Trust that. Because I did my whole career and it ain't never let me down. I've done some mistakes, right? Like I said, I didn't go to Ohio State, or I didn't do this, or I didn't do that, or I ain't signed a deal.
Whoa, let's not call that a mistake.
What?
It wasn't mistakes. It was just
I'm not saying
lessons.
It was. I'm not saying it was, but sometimes people from the outside.
Oh yeah, like,
you know what I'm saying? And it's like, was it a mistake? You know what I mean? Or was it a stepping stone?
Stepping stone for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
The L stand for lesson, not loss.
It's the mind state. Yeah.
Man, I want to dive into Midnight Cinema.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir.
All right, so off top, when I was listening to it, the interludes that you have, like the theme of it come in hella intense. So I'm listening to it, and I remember the visual that we had shot. Like, I feel like that Stivers journalist writer thing is you implementing that into this project. Like, I ain't heard a project with a theme in a long time. So explain the reason and why you just put this project into that realm of like, okay, I'm starting off with some interlude. Like, I think it's like 4 skits on there. That's like it's intense. Like it lead up.
So this is what David Winter was all about, right? When I changed my style up and I said what I was just talking about, I said, whatever I do, this is gonna be my brand. This is what I'm about. So David Winter was about, for one, let me just explain. Winter came from Academy Productions, because it used to be Academy Award Winter Productions. I kept the Winter, and my middle name is David.
Okay,
that was how the name got created. But the brand was to be the biggest cinematic rapper that ever lived. That was the brand. That was the log line. That's where, you know what I'm saying? Like, you asked me, what's your mission statement? To be the biggest cinematic producer rapper of all time. That's
Cinematic,
it.
absolutely.
From that point on, every album from IMAX to Score to Looper to Midnight Cinema, they've all had a cinematic element to it. Meaning that I'm a big fan of movies and TV and shit like that. So I like to implement shit like that into my shit. I feel like one person that's really good at it is NF as well. I don't know how many people are hip to NF, but his shit is incredibly cinematic. But anyway, so with Midnight Cinema, it was more like I was trying to put together a project that was reminiscent of like old school movies and shit, old school shows, just anything that was classic back then. Like, and I'm a huge fan of horror. I love horror, so I wanted to kind of play around with the fact that, like, you know, even I think one of the biggest I thought was I think a lot of people slept on was Freddy versus Jason. The style, what was it?
Jada
and my bad.
Jada Kiss and Fabulous.
Yes. Yeah. That kind of shit. Like, not necessarily like the whole thing was themed, but it had a concept to it.
Yeah, something to follow.
Yeah. And so that's what Midnight Cinema was about, was me trying to create this concept album of like all my favorite scary movies and kind of implementing it in a way to where it fits with the music. Same way I did Boogeyman. The same way, in Looper, how we did the I Can't Lose with the whole Tenet storyline, kind of with the agent and the like. My mind thinks in so much crazy different ways, bro. That people probably be asking like, bro, whatever happened with that? Like, I gotta get the ending.
But that was a dope bit. I was like, that was fun to shoot too, though.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the type of shit I'll be on. Like, I just be on a whole, like you said, it goes back to the writing and being in theater, and I wouldn't have never been able to pull any of that type of shit off had I not had those types of experience. I honestly, even lately, I'm like, damn, I probably would have been a good ass actor, bro.
Nah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Even when we shot that video, I'm like, oh, this nigga killing this shit.
Yeah, like recently, bro, I've really been thinking like, damn, because I'm gonna tell you why here in a second. I know we on time.
Yeah, you good.
My cousin, right? She went to theater. She went to Kent State, dude, and I just saw my cousin yesterday at Thanksgiving. Bro, why she go to Kent State for theater major? Why is she traveling abroad working for a fucking cruise ships? Like doing the entertainment for cruise ships, bro.
Yeah.
Traveling
that's dope.
the world.
I would say she everywhere with it,
bro.
Like,
I'm talking.
That's
Greece,
nice,
nigga.
That's
Mykonos,
nice.
like nigga, every Puerto Rico.
It ain't too late though, bro. I mean, with the college credentials, I don't know, but it's still like
that ain't never too late, bro.
I feel like that.
Pivot.
Yeah, I feel like the acting field as independently as it's got now. If you got the resources and the time to do it, you can pivot into that.
And here's the thing, right? You don't have to go back to college. Understand that, right?
Exactly.
You can get on master class and find your favorite whoever, and it don't even matter what it is, right? Now, obviously, you're trying to be a nurse. That's a little different.
If you're trying to do heart surgery, go to school.
But say you would like randomly, like you want to do culinary arts or some shit, right? You want to do culinary art, bro? You could get a master class and just study Chef Ramsay or whoever it is that's big, Rachel Ray, whoever, people don't figure it out that way too. You don't necessarily have to do it the old traditional way and go into college and go into debt.
Dog, people don't know that I went to YouTube University for film and videography. Dead ass. I went to school for entertainment business, but I learned all my videography skills off YouTube. Shouts out to Ryan Lightborn, who sold me my first camera, asking questions and just fucking up and love fucking up because I'm learning from it. So
that's the best way to learn.
Yeah, you don't got to go to school for this shit.
People ask me all the time, bro. I'm gonna tell you something. People ask me all the time. Can you show me how to do what you do? Can you show me how to do what you do? I can't show you. I can't, bro. I used to think I could, right? I used to try to like be like, yeah, I could. And then when I started doing it, I'm like, bro, I hate this. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because nobody taught me.
I about to say
I learned the same way you did, fucking up, figuring it out. So I tell people, and I know people get mad all the time, but I'm saying this on camera because I get tired of saying it. There's no better experience. There's no better teacher than doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Than doing it yourself. Because, and the reason for that is because you'll figure out your own mistakes and learn how to fix them rather than somebody else coming in your ear and telling you how to fix it.
Yeah.
That's all that I'm saying.
So, did you do the production on the whole?
I did the production on the whole Midnight Cinema. Yep, that's all me.
And I'm thinking that's you on the interludes as well.
Oh yeah, that's all me.
All right, bet.
That's
That's why I was like,
voice
is this him?
acting.
Yeah.
You know, like I've even been thinking about that, like doing like voiceover acting and shit like that. Like that's a huge lane too.
Yeah,
That's a huge lane. And I'm like, damn, how did I never see any of this before?
I just looked up. I looked up some credits off the show I was watching, and I was looking at his filmography thing, and
had voiceover shit. Huh?
He had voiceovers for like Batman and Robin or cartoon or some shit. So it's like wherever it go, it can go. Yeah,
exactly. So there's always a way you can pivot, bro. And just for me, I've just always enjoyed that, bro. That shit fun to me. So, you know, I'm sure a lot of people might be like, man, this shit different. But I'm telling you, when you really think about the concept, it's perfect, bro. Like even down to the songs like Prom Night, The Exorcist.
Yeah.
All of those songs line up in the theme of, you know what I'm saying? Of old school movies and old school horror films. But with The Exorcist, what a lot of people were saying was, I loved how you kind of dove into the whole thing about the deal. How I said on The Exorcist, like fighting these demons. If it ain't worth it, I ain't signing the agreement. Like people was like, I really understood what you was saying in that hook right there. Like you was talking about like back then how you wasn't gonna sell your soul. You know what I'm saying? That ties into The Exorcist of, you know, a soul trying to take. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Dope. So you really have to think about these concepts a little bit. Sometimes it'll go over people's heads, but you just have to be, again, I know my demographic. I'm an intelligent ass nigga. I don't make music for people who want to hear the dumbed down Ice Spice sound. That's not me.
I mean, you got a nice range of, like, you got some slappers on there. Then you got the detail shit. But then one that stood out to me was New Year's Eve interlude.
Yeah, like was more on some pop shit.
Yeah, so explain why you chose to put that on there, because it's early in the project, but it's definitely like a curve of like.
So the reason I did that was, so the whole midnight thing came from like up late at night, like you're watching shit late at night, watching TV late at night. What comes on late at night on TV? You know, just anything that comes to mind, right? Romance, women, clubbing, partying, scary movies, right? Also, a lot of people forget New Year's Eve is in the middle of the night on TV. Yeah. So I took that as well. Like it wasn't just like movies and shit. It was just the midnight. Timing, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like being up late at night. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a nocturnal kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? I've worked third shift for probably like 4.5 years. So I'm a night owl. I'll be up. So the whole concept came from me having that nocturnal nature and sleeping during the day and being up at night and seeing how different shit is. I remember Tyler, the Creator, said something about that. Like, why do we release albums at midnight when everybody's fucking asleep? And it was like, yo, that is a great point. But the reason I chose to do that was because I'm actually a huge fan of different genres. Like if you looked at my playlist, I bet motherfuckers would be like, this nigga listen to Chainsmokers? Like, what the fuck? But that's just how I am. I don't just listen to drill shit all goddamn day. You know what I'm saying? I listen to Tori Kelly. I listen to Lecrae. I listen to all kinds of different types of music.
And probably just getting like new ideas and inspiration just from hearing all that.
Yeah, Bryson Tiller. Yeah. And that's where all that comes from, right? Like, nigga, even Lady Gaga's got some phenomenal music. I'm not gonna sit here and say like I'm banging Lady Gaga, but I'm just saying, Halsey, G-Eazy, you know, everybody.
The playlist is everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So I like to incorporate that into my music, and I know a lot, and know it throws a lot of people off. But that, again, I can't think of no other person that got that kind of range other than probably like Drake, or, you know what I'm saying? Ain't too many niggas who could just spit bars and then turn around and go techno and be like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's why I do it. And it wasn't a bad shit. It just was like, huh.
Like, this is
different.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
But again, think about late at night, you know what I'm saying? New Year's Eve. What
it put me in, I ain't gonna lie, it put me in that aspect, like, damn, this is a nice little ball drop joint. Like, get the shots ready.
That's why I call it New Year's Eve.
Not no gas up, bro. Like, I done been in clubs to where they like it's shift from like hip hop to like some weird shit, and some songs be like, I ain't mad at this.
Yeah,
like exactly. I'm not mad at the switch up.
Exactly,
like, I got a little fist pump in me like every now and then. So I'm like, yeah, I ain't mad at this joint. But
also being able to have that range to say, okay, you might not be a huge hip hop fan, right? But you fuck with pop. You fuck with Charlie XCX. You fuck with Beyonce. Exactly. Beyonce dropped a whole album.
Cowboy Carter.
That was the country one, but the one before that, the Renaissance one, that was all pop shit.
Yeah.
All pop shit. So it was like you can exist in whatever lane you want it to be. It doesn't necessarily have to. I think Beyonce has mastered that concept beautifully, like what you said with the Cowboy Carter. Like she took that entire concept and turned it into a whole project.
Mm-hmm.
And whether we like it or not, I'm not a huge country fan, but whether we like it or not, I can respect the fuck out of what she's doing.
Definitely.
And I think the exact same way. I don't know if you've seen the one that she did with where she's doing the Pam Anderson shit. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I ain't seen that one.
But it was honestly the same mentality that I would have had, like making that video. Like she's like giving Pam Anderson her props.
Okay,
like with the Baywatch shit.
I gotta check. I'm a visual person. I gotta check it out.
But that's how my mind works. I'm very conceptual, visually, and I think that's what helped me a lot. I think that's what got me to the point where I am now, where people are like, "Yo, this nigga doing the visuals." Where I think where things really got to a whole nother level, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
So, this is my thing with visuals, and I'm just gonna speak on mine real quick. Like, I come from, like I said, like Benny Boone, Director X's, Chris Robertson's,
and them niggas have
director, like all of them, right? And like cinematic music videos are timeless. It can stand the test of time. Mm-hmm. Running guns is cool, like that became the norm. But cinematic shit, like they can watch our joint we did and not think that it was shot that long ago because it's still just a timeless watch.
You couldn't even tell where we even did it at.
Nah,
That's the beauty of it.
It was raining and shit. That was a crazy day. But,
yeah, it was.
But I feel like, conceptual videos it's more timeless and it's better to your catalog rather than, just... I mean, don't get it wrong. Like, far as we got to do promo now and everything, sometimes you got to give them what they want in your own way, but still, it's just like conceptual shit, cinematic shit. That's me. That's what I love. Like, I will.
So you like when a nigga send you the treatment?
What? Man, I'm reading it. I'm adding to it. I'm already visualizing shit. Like,
and that's one thing I was gonna say about you, bro. Is on the fly, bro. Some nigga, you and Savant, bro. Shout out Savant Williamson, man. You and Savant are the fucking geniuses of doing something on the fly, like being live. And these niggas would do some shit like, bro, I'm gonna put you over there, and then I'm gonna put this over here, and then and I'm like, wait, what? And then it just come out on some like, damn, I never thought of that shit.
Bro,
a video that shit hard, bro.
A video to me is just a big ass puzzle you got to put together, and you got to be able to. Some things you can't just like lock in from what was on the paper because when you get there, ideas get to sparking, and if you that talented, then we can just switch something up and be like, do this. Like, far as your video, you was playing two different people, but I couldn't show your face.
Yeah.
On the other point, so I'm like, all right, like
you cut it in a way where you couldn't even tell it was me.
I accept a new challenge that's gonna test my waters and be like, oh, okay.
I'm glad you said that because me and Donnie just did one. And he's like, bro, every time you send me some shit, he's like,
different
some shit.
Different.
He's like, you the only nigga who ever really be sending me treatments and shit.
Yeah,
like, bro,
it's different, bro.
And even some of my running guns, I write some of them out. Like, it ain't nothing crazy.
But you always got a meaning to your visuals is what I see.
Yes.
So, all right. So before we wrap, man, I ask everybody this. What is a good quote or a piece of advice that you live off of?
Shit. I'm going to keep this one simple, bro. What? I'm trying to think of how good. I don't want to say it wrong. Stand for something or you'll fall for anything.
No, that's it.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Stand for something or you fall for anything.
For anything, you fall for anything.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've had to jump back to that mantra, bro. Like, even from like a kid, bro. Like, to the deal, just everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, just everything. So that's one I really hold on to.
No wrong answer.
Yeah, that's the one I really hold on to, bro.
Man, so promote the project. What is it? Where can they find it? Listen to that.
Yo, Midnight Cinema is out right now. Came out in August. Still out right now. Go cop that shit. YouTube, Spotify, Tidal, I'm on DistroKid. I have a lot more visuals I'm coming with. Again, go check it out. Instagram, David Winter 360. Twitter, David Winter 360. Facebook, David Winter 360. It's all the same. Another project dropping very soon as well. But right now, Midnight Cinema is still in rotation. Go cop that shit.
There it is. Dreamers Welcome Podcast. Y'all keep dreaming. We out.
Hey.
Dreamers Welcome Podcast.